As far as belonging in AA, if you're like me, you spend a lot of time thinking about drinking, even if you're not drinking, you got a thinking and drinking problem. I'm thinking about it like I'm planning it. I'm still working. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to do what I need to do. But if you're still thinking about that drink, or you're watching everybody else drink and you're a little ticked off when they don't finish their drink, yeah, it might be a sign. There's something going on there.
I heard it through the grapevine. Welcome. It's the AA Grapevine half-hour variety hour featuring the collective voices of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm Don, an alcoholic in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Hey, Don. Hey, yo. I'm an alcoholic. My name is Sam, and I'm in Palm Springs, California.
Hiya, Sam.
What's going on, Don?
I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but the monkeys are starting to get excited. They're rattling their cage.
Oh, now why would the monkeys be rattling their cage?
Because it's a new month. The new grapevine is here. Get those monkeys off of me.
You've always got a monkey on your back. If you think you may have a problem with alcohol, we in Alcoholics Anonymous invite you to join us. One of the great things about Grapevine is that we can publish relevant, up-to-date stories by AA members from every walk of life each month. This month, our special section features powerful stories of sobriety and hope by our LGBTQ plus AA members.
You'll have to decide if the story A True Pioneer is relevant and up-to-date. I think it is, even though it concerns one of our earliest AA members. It was written by our own favorite AA history buff, Miley T. She does our history snippet segments. She tells the wonderful story of Marty M., a lesbian and close friend of Bill W.'s. The story says, thanks to Bill's acceptance at a time when gays and lesbians were ostracized and persecuted, both socially and legally, Marty, Priscilla, and future generations of LGBTQ people have been welcomed to the program. So the inclusiveness all over this issue is nothing new to AA. It's been here from the very beginning.
In the story Making It Happen, a member shares how he and his AA friends got an LGBTQ plus meeting started in their small Pennsylvania town.
In Finding My Place, a lesbian alcoholic in Missouri finds a place in AA she can call home. And in Landon, a trans member drank to feel okay. Then, one day, with outside help and AA, they discovered a whole new life in Greensboro, NC.
Those are all in the Sober and Out section, but there are lots of other topics and sections in the issue. Like the letters section, an inmate from a prison in upstate New York writes with thanks to the General Service Office and the Grapevine for helping him stay sober. When I get the urge to drink or succumb to my demons, I try to apply my positive sober thinking skills. Some days I find it easy to punch holes in myself and others, but it's imperative for me to practice gratitude. My old ways got me here. I'm now learning to do what's right. I hope my letter will help someone who's also struggling. Thank you, Grapevine and AA. That's from Christopher P. in Monticello, New York. Thank you, Christopher.
Wow. And the news section reports, the British Columbia Yukon Area 79 Service Committee released a new book in June 2024. Our Stories, First Nations, Inuit, and Métis Recovery. 15 first-person stories from Indigenous members in Area 79, the second largest area in AA with over 200 Indigenous communities.
You know, in every issue, there is a discussion topic after one of the stories. We have heard of AA meetings that always use grapevine stories. I'm going to put this topic in my back pocket to have handy next time I go to a discussion meeting. It says, the writer of Lucky Strike was not a happy camper coming into AA for the first time. I mean, really, who is?
Yeah.
He wanted no help from anyone. No coffee, no pizza, no handshakes. Finally, coming back over time helped him warm up to the kindness he was getting. Soon he was helping out and even going bowling with the group. What were you like when you first got to AA? How did you respond to all the laughter and kindness? What helped you to fit in and feel okay? What are some of the ways you reach out to new people? How do you handle newcomers who don't want any help?
Use this topic at meetings or send us your own experience with newcomers at aagrapevine.org/share. Sam, who's our guest today?
Don, today's guest is the author of Welcome Home, Mary. We welcome Mary H. from San Antonio, Texas. Her story is on page 12 of the March 2024 issue.
And after that, Olis is going to take us on a trip to the International Women's Conference that she attended just a few weeks ago. But first, the news!
Did you know there's a brand new literature workbook? Several years in the making, this workbook was compiled from practical shared experience of AA members in the literature service area. Literature committees at the district and area levels help educate the fellowship about General Service Conference approved literature and related service material. All of their efforts work to ensure we protect and maintain the integrity of the AA message. Helpful sections of the workbook include samples of planned service activities and growing literature committees in districts. Check your local distribution sources, groups, districts, intergroups, and central offices, or visit aa.org to get your copy. Hi, folks. We need your stories on the individual traditions. Pick one and write about your or your group's experience with it. How has a tradition played a part in your life? How has your understanding of a tradition changed? What is a personal experience where a tradition played a part? Visit aagrapevine.org for guidelines and to submit.
My name's Mary. Here in San Antonio, I go by Mary HP. My sobriety date is January 26th of 1997. My home group is the San Antonio North Women's Group. We meet every Saturday morning, 10:30, and we go to lunch afterwards, which of course is some of my favorite part.
And the fellowship, the meeting after the meeting.
Well, it's hard to get to know someone in a meeting, but that meeting after the meeting, that's the sweet spot.
Yeah, we usually try and drag as many newcomers with us as we can, but you know how that is. It takes a couple of days or a couple of meetings, and finally you're like, come on, you can do it.
Yeah, it took me a while before my instant answer of no finally became yes.
So, Mary, what brought you into AA? What was going on inside of you?
Well, I started out going to AA meetings when I was a teenager. I was standing at a beach right in front of a beach house, Southern California, and I had a beer in my hand. My first ticket was a minor in possession of one can of Schlitz beer. They had me go to 2 or 4 AA meetings.
Did it appeal to you?
No, I didn't get sober then.
But it does sound like alcohol was causing problems in your life from the get-go.
Well, it was. I was the youngest of 6, and I watched a lot of drinking and drugging and stuff in my household growing up. And I always swore I would never do it. Never. I would never put anybody through the crap that my siblings did.
So what brought you to the first meeting where you
Actually got sober?
got sober?
Well, I had gone through a breakup. I was very codependent at the time, and I ended up in a house that I was paying for without anybody else in it but me, drinking a case of beer and couldn't get drunk, so I thought I'd go out and get some tequila, and that didn't work, and it was one of those days that it wasn't working for me.
Mm.
You know, lots of hysterical crying. I didn't get sober then. I was still drinking a little bit here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I went to my ex's house and we did drink and other stuff a lot. It was funny. I got up and then I came back in the room and I looked around the room and it was like my higher power gave me a fisheye lens. Are you going to continue to do this crap? You going to continue to have a life like this? Is this all there is?
Mm.
I left and they said, "Oh, well, here, take some beers to go." And I said, "No, I'm good. I'll stop and get some if I need it." And did I get sober that day? But I'm not sure if I did. But what I did do is call my therapist that I had seen off and on for years.
Okay.
She said, "This week I want you to go to 3 AA, Al-Anon, or Adult Children of Alcoholics meetings because I was always blaming it on everybody else. So I was going into the other meetings for quite a while off and on.
Okay.
I got into my first beginners meeting. I just knew that I felt at home. I don't even know what it was a feeling. I don't remember who was there. There was a woman that was leading and she was real sweet but it was just that they reminded me of the people that were like the people I went to the bar with.
Yeah, and because they are.
Yeah,
I
they
love
are.
being around alcoholics,
Yeah,
sober ones, but yeah.
right. Big part of my story is be tried to do the steps by myself. And I always
Oh,
did 1, 2, 3, start to do 4, never would allow myself to get a sponsor,
Mm.
tried to do it on my own.
Step 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves.
I could not do 4 on my own. I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do. I don't know who this Mr. Brown is.
4 being the personal inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't understand how to do the inventory.
Right. And I'm pretty particular, so I was trying to make sure I was doing it right
oh yeah.
without any help. Of course. So I got a sponsor. I started working the steps right away because I just knew that was what was holding me back.
So, what did the sponsor say to you? What were you able to do with the sponsor?
She was really blunt. Okay. So, first it was write down every relative you know, every person you can think of. It wasn't gonna, she just do it.
So it's not the hit list, it's
Oh,
everyone.
it's everyone because she wanted me to really think. Yeah. And so I made a big long list. We did the sex inventory and the fear inventory and all that as well. And as I was doing it, I could see, of course, it made a lot more sense. I did a fifth step with her.
Step 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs.
I could see all the fear, all the reasons that I had drunk, and it was clear to me that it was so much fear. I worked in a profession that I had a license, and, I always had to hide that I was gay, and I hid that I was drinking. I never drank at work. I was always thinking about the next plan of when I was going to drink.
Yeah. So Mary, step 5, was there any reticence to do that? To be honest?
I couldn't wait to do it.
Do tell.
Yeah, by the time I was writing that out and I knew why I did things and I just wanted to get it out. I'd spent way too many years being codependent and trying to do things for the wrong reason and, having all that fear, and I wanted it out. I wanted to figure out who I was. She was a great sponsor. I used to call her and complain and cry and trying to figure out how to get sober. She'd just tell me, put your hands out in front of you, turn them over. And then she'd just hang up or get in her car and drive away. It took me about a month to figure out what the hell this woman was doing. She was just trying to get me to drop the rock. Just let it go.
Let
Just
go.
drop it. I needed to learn to drop the pain and let, my higher power in instead.
Mary, is there any part of working that steps, especially that first time, there was something you just didn't want to do?
Yeah, actually, for my second step, I remember being real upset. And then that was another time I called my sponsor and I said, I don't know who this higher power is. How can I give up something if I don't know who it is? She said, just get on your knees and pray. And I did. What I heard was, Mary, I don't care if you call me Chuck. That's it. I don't care if you
Wow.
call me Chuck. I
Yes.
cracked up. I got up and I just laid down on the bed and went, oh my God. It just made so much sense all of a sudden. You don't have a name. You don't need a name. I don't care what you call me. You know I'm here.
Oh, Mary, that is fantastic.
What I always wanted to do when I retired was to help other people. That's pretty easy when you come to AA. So I do helpful things on the outside. I help take care of my wife. She's disabled. I do food banks and things like that. And of course, I've been the GSR, I've been the treasurer. Don't ever ask me to be the treasurer again. I'm really bad at it. I can deposit the money, don't the rest of it,
Yeah.
But so what I'm volunteering this week is going to be a conference here, this corrections conference this Saturday, and I'm gonna just volunteer there and show up.
How many sponsees do you have?
Really, two main sponsees.
Mary, one of the things that just like popped into my mind as you were talking a moment ago was the prescription from Dr. Bob of trust God, clean house, help others.
That's my goal. That's my favorite area in the big book. That's it. And then, if something's bothering you, what do? You ask your higher power, do something for somebody else. I do that. I know how to get out of myself.
Mary, what is a week in your life in recovery? What does that look like today?
I exercise. I try and go to water aerobics during the week, first thing in the morning. Then I go with one of my sponsees. We either go to another meeting that's a women's meeting or we go to a big book meeting. I try and go to a Lambda meeting as well during the week. And then, of course, I go to my home group meeting every Saturday. So I'm not there every day, but I'm
Mhm.
talking to my sponsees. I have one male sponsee and one female sponsee. One's gay, one's not, and
Uh-huh.
it doesn't matter. And of course, we all love to go to lunch or dinner together. So we stay in program pretty darn often. That's pretty much my week.
Well, you have definitely found your tribe, haven't you?
I have found my tribe. I follow them online and I go to the meetings and try and get to know everybody. I certainly know the people that are in my women's group. Lambda's a little harder because there's a whole lot more people and they come
Mhm.
and go a lot.
What is this? Lambda? Is that a town?
No, Lambda are LGBTQ plus meetings,
Oh,
and they're open to anybody, obviously.
Mary, it sounds like you've got an absolutely fabulous life going on.
I try. I got three crazy dogs. My wife's got a service dog that likes to bark and try and knock the fence down, but we're doing fine, really. We really are.
well, at least you don't have these monkeys that we have.
Well, Don, you keep on saying we, but those monkeys live in your house.
they might live in my head. Mary, thanks so much for joining us today.
It's been a real pleasure getting to know you a bit.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Olis, you been to any big AA shindigs lately?
Don, oh man, I was recently in San Diego for the International Women's Conference. It was a mind-blowing experience.
Cool.
On the water, what I think is some of the most perfect weather in the United States. There were 4,000 women in person and almost another 2,000 women online.
Now, when was this?
January 30th through February 2nd, 2025. I was able to go for the entire thing. So I got there on Thursday and I thought, because I've been to several AA gatherings, that there were going to be plenty of seats. We didn't need to rush to get there. I like to sit in the front row. I'm a front row girl. Full house.
Ooh.
Friday night for the speaker, packed, just overflow.
Wow.
What a beautiful gathering. And the speakers were extraordinary.
Describe the room.
So it's in a really large hotel. There are, of course, guest rooms, there are meeting breakout rooms, and there's the large, I mean, thousands of people ballroom with a stage and the podium. So the banners, and this year in San Diego, the theme is represented by the host committee decorating surfboards that got auctioned off. And so there are these beautiful surfboards. One is a mosaic of a woman on a surfboard. Like they're all
But But you can't carry a surfboard home in your luggage.
Somebody is carrying those because you've got to remember some of them are local.
Yeah.
And people drive down. You can put that in your car.
That's
The
right.
truth is, you can ship that. So the scene is this beautiful high-end hotel that conveys to us this is really, we have arrived. We deserve beautiful things.
And the speakers were all speaking on recovery.
All of them. This is an AA event. This is a from the podium experience, strength, and hope. The thing I take away isn't just every night there's a main speaker or the marathon meetings, that there are marathon meetings all day long, or the workshops on emotional sobriety or Black in AA, which is related to the new updated pamphlet, but the fellowship that happens in the lobby, right? There's a hospitality room. There are AA books. The oldest standing member, right? The person with the longest sobriety gives the book to the people with the shortest sobriety, the newest newcomer.
Oh, a sobriety countdown, and those are the winners.
Absolutely. And so the books are in the hospitality room. So you get to go in and sign the book. And, I did something I haven't done before. I signed the book at my favorite passage.
Oh, and what's your favorite passage?
Page 100, that first full paragraph. Both you and the new man must walk day by day in the path of spiritual progress. And so I will put my phone number in the book. My number's no doubt in a Goodwill store somewhere in a book of Alcoholics Anonymous. I will put my number. Because that's what this is, right? This is a making ourselves available.
You came back with a plethora of
so much
recordings.
fun. I mean, what people don't know about me is that I'm an introvert. I'm not shy so much as I'm a loner. I'm just wired to be a more back of the room kind of quiet person, although I do sit in the front in AA meetings. Good training. But you asking me to do that forced me to engage so many more women that I didn't know, that I would not have interacted with, right? And being intentional to make sure that our listeners get a broad cross-section of attendees. It was really lovely.
So we have about 10 minutes of interviews that you recorded. Say someone wants to go next year, what do they do?
So Des Moines, Iowa is hosting the next International Women's Conference, February 12th to February 15th, 2026. Des Moines is an affordable city. And for people who've never been to the International Women's Conference, just want you for a moment to imagine being in a ballroom with 4,000 other women that are seeking joy and freedom, that are there bringing new people with them, or there to support the people that they know, or just women talk about coming every year. And the people they see, they only see that one time a year from all over the country.
Beautiful.
I would strongly recommend, if you've not been, this is a way to invest in your own spiritual development.
All right. Well, let's listen.
Hi, my name is Tracy. I'm an alcoholic. My sobriety date is January 2nd, 1989. And I am here back at my home, my AA birthplace. I got sober in San Diego. And so it's really exciting to be back here and see this magnitude of women coming together internationally, because I live in Monterrey, Mexico today, and I am very active in the Spanish-speaking culture, whether it's here in the United States doing translating or in my home group as a GSR in my district. And I just felt so selfish, but that I would be able to, because I'm English-speaking, I was able to come up here to the IWC and get rich experience of the unity, this women, the magnitude, the language of the heart that's spoken here. And I thought, this is not fair that the Spanish-speaking women are not getting able to experience this. And so I've been a part of making this get translated and getting a space for the Spanish-speaking women to feel this camaraderie, this beautiful unity, and that we've been able to experience. And yesterday we had an in-person workshop, and it was just divine appointment. Only a few women were there, but God was definitely working behind the scenes to make all of us experience this heart connection. And this morning we were able to have an online space, and there was a woman from Venezuela, Costa Rica, Mexico, a Spanish-speaking woman in Norway, me in Mexico, and women in San Diego. And we all came together in our language, in Spanish, and we got to experience this amazing conference that I am so grateful to have found and grateful to be a part of. There's a beautiful archives room that I walked them through the other day, and I got to show them the women who have paved the way, and that we are so grateful to the women that did what they did so that we can be here where we are today. It's a sacred responsibility to pass that on, that hand of Alcoholics Anonymous, for us to be not just a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, to reach out our hand to our sisters wherever they are in the world, whatever language they speak. So just jump on board, find out when's the next IWC, and come on and join us. And whatever language you speak, we all speak the language of the heart. I love you.
Hi, my name is Brenda, and I'm an alcoholic. My sobriety date is March the 3rd, 1994. And this is not my first IWC. I've been here before. I remember when I found it, the first one I went to was in Hawaii. And I think I was about a year sober or so, and my friends took me. And since that time, I've been coming off and on and bringing people. It's amazing to me that there are so many people that have sobriety and they don't know about this women's event. If I had to explain it to someone else, I would say this is a place of love where women get together and talk about women issues in Alcoholics Anonymous. This is my second or third day here, and the one thing that stood out to me was the pioneers of AA. It's important to me as an African-American woman to find those African-Americans that led the way for the rest of us. And, I'm interested in reading the stories about how we couldn't go to the meetings and when did we start being let go to the meetings. And I just found out about Jimmy. Yeah. And so I just ordered that book online, and I'm really interested because I always feel like my father, who was an alcoholic, maybe he didn't have the opportunities that I had to get into a meeting, and how grateful I am that I was given this opportunity and how it's changed my life. There is just no way I can pay back what I've been given.
If there's one moment that made you cry, what was that one moment?
When they did the pioneers of AA, the women who were kicked out, they were named fallen women only because there were men there that was interested in them. And people are human. And I'm just grateful that we fallen women still had a chance. And we got a chance now.
Hi family, Paige B from Mesa, Arizona. My sobriety date is 8/14/2016. And this experience at the Women's International Convention, I've never seen so many sober people in my life. Just being able to sit in a room and be present and be whole has just been an amazing experience. I'm learning a lot. My heart is full, and I'm just very grateful to be here.
Is there anything that made you laugh?
One speaker specifically, we went to the traditions and relationships thing, and it was just so beautiful. Just being in a room full of women that are laughing and grieving and happy and sad at the same moment. Just being present has been an amazing experience.
Anything that made you well up?
Definitely seeing newcomers, sitting around and being able to talk to them. I'm definitely an introverted person, and I was so nervous about all the people, but it has been definitely getting out of my comfort zone. It's been one of the best things I've ever done in my recovery.
Hi, my name is Danni, and I'm an alcoholic. My sobriety date is February 10th of 2018. This is my first experience at IWC. If I could try to put the words together to describe my experience this first time is very difficult, but I would say that my cup is certainly full, and the weekend is not over yet. I have been able to meet some wonderful women. I was extremely touched today by one of the talks that I attended was the emotional sobriety workshop. I needed to hear every single word from all three of those women that spoke. I took lots of notes. I met some wonderful people, and I feel a part of. My heart has been touched. And for anyone who has not been to this conference, please attend. I think that you will find joy, love,
new friendships.
Hi, this is Liz T, and my sobriety date is October 10th, 2018, and I'm here at the International Women's Conference. This is my third conference, and this conference has been special because I had a touchstone moment when I was in this Grapevine workshop. I'm the Grapevine rep for my group, and I was in this really intimate workshop with these other women, and a lot of the conferences, big and loud, and speakers and banquets, and this was like an hour where we were together and doing some sharing, and the woman facilitating it had like a bunch of stories written in the Grapevine, and she encouraged us to write to the Grapevine and participate, and just sisters in recovery sharing, coming together with a common goal, which is, the stories are often what draw people into recovery. Like I could relate to other women writing their stories, reading stories in the back of the big book, and it's finding those little moments when it's not the big, exciting stuff. It was just a moment in where we were sharing together and being encouraged to have a voice. That's what's special about this conference.
Hi, everyone. My name is Faith B. I am from San Diego, and my sobriety date is March 1st of 2020. And I am here at the International Women's Convention having an amazing time. I actually had no plans on attending. As I'm from San Diego, they announced in my home group that they were looking for volunteers to help sell literature. And I was called 2 days before the convention to be of service. And so I showed up because that's what we do. And very simply put, I encourage you to come just simply because being in a room with other alcoholic women makes you feel not alone. And that's the basis for the program of AA. We are not alone. We're here to support and love on each other. So I hope you can make it next year.
SimV sober date is September 23rd, 2011. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. This is my second time at the International Women's Conference.
Is there a moment that made you reflect in a different way, like have an awakening?
So I will say the main speakers have really just touched my heart. Irene last night she was just, I can't even express it. I think her talking about her mom and caring for her mom, that actually really spoke to me.
If you were speaking to a person that's never been here, how would you describe the opportunity this offers?
It's priceless is the word to describe it. It's astonishing. It can be a bit overwhelming, but it's a good overwhelming. It's incredible to see women with so many different lengths of sobriety, just to be able to soak it in. I have to say that my higher power has been with me, whether I've realized it or not. You're just not alone here.
Final question. You're a person that does a lot of service, but you're here just as a participant. So as a person who does a lot of service, what is it like to be in an event like this?
It's nice to hang back and to see everything. And I'm also incredibly grateful because I can only imagine the work that has taken place to get everything done. I'm like, let me get in there. It's immense gratitude. It is not easy to put something like this together, and it's just wow.
Yeah, it is wow.
Wow.
Hey, Don, what are you playing with on your phone? We're supposed to be recording a podcast here.
Oh, well, sorry, Sam. Look, I was just checking my spiritual fitness in the new Grapevine app.
Oh, the daily spiritual maintenance checklist? Well, are you fit?
Yep, says so here. And look, there's a daily quote and a sobriety calculator.
And you can read the latest issue and all of the past issues all the way back to 1944.
And you can have the app read the magazine to you out loud as a playlist. It's the monthly magazine in print and audio.
Right in your pocket. The Grapevine and Lavinia apps are now available for both iOS and Android phones. To get yours, go to the App Store on your phone.
I don't listen to my conscience. I haven't listened to my conscience in years.
Why is that?
I don't take advice from a total stranger.
It's really not that funny. Thanks for joining us. The AA Grapevine Half-Hour Variety Hour is posted every Monday and is produced by AA Grapevine, Inc. We don't speak for AA as a whole. We share the experience, strength, and hope of members to help others recover from alcoholism. All things Grapevine are available at aagrapevine.org, including our app and how to get in touch with us. Find us on Instagram and YouTube. If you want to know more about AA, visit aa.org or search online for Alcoholics Anonymous and your city.